Today I'm going to talk about the current state of the market and some important things to know for investing over the next couple days. So the high rated meta players are finally slowing down in their price increases. As you can see, Mbappe here is about 30 million when he was roughly 28.5 a few days ago, so he isn't increasing at the same rapid rate. Same thing with Maldini, although he's up to 30.5, he was only about 29 a couple days ago, so he's starting to slow down in his price increase. And the same can be said for a lot of these guys like Van Dijk, he's up to 30 million. Mbappe over here is up to 60, which is still pretty good. He's going strong, but he was at about 58 a couple days ago. And then we have R9, who's definitely slowed down. He's getting close to the 50 million coin mark, which is crazy, but his growth definitely has slowed. Now, that doesn't mean that these players aren't going to keep going up in value. All it means is that the buyer pool is slowly shrinking for these players because only a certain amount of people have 40, 50, 60 million coins to spend. So the higher that price goes, the less buyers there are out there for that card, meaning the price increases are going to slow down as you go. And the only way that's going to change is if people can find new ways to get tons of coins, whether it be a new event, new packs, or even just investing. The more people there are with 40, 50, 60 million coins, the more those players could go up in value. But on the flip side, a lot of people do have 15 to like 30 million coins. So people are going out and buying Roberto Carlos. Now, of course, he has had his price capped at 17.3, but tons of people are trying to buy him because they do have the coins for that. Another example is Puskás, and I bought my copy, I think it was 4 or 5 days ago for about 20.8, 20.9 million coins, and I sold mine for a 500,000 coin profit. He's now up to 23. You could probably sell him for 24. But a player in this range that is good in game, but's in an affordable price range, seems to keep creeping up further and further. Same thing with Mateus. Now, of course, he's up to the 33, 35 million coin mark. You guys know I bought my copy for 23 about 6 or 7 days ago. He's gone up a ton since then, but he is the best center defensive mid, and a lot of people are running CDMs in their teams now, so a player like him is going to be in a lot of demand. And that's another thing we've been talking about recently. Players in positions for certain formations are going up a lot in value. For example, Jairzinho, a lot of people run the 4-3-3. He's a good right wing. He's got a ton of demand. But not only that, a lot of people are changing to a 4-1-2-1-2, either with 2 center mids or a left mid and a right mid. I see that a ton nowadays in head-to-head, which means that a lot of people need a CDM now. And if you saw in my last video, I bought 5 Mateuses, who is, in my opinion, the best CDM, his 91 and 93 version in the game. And I bought all of mine for 14.2 to 14.3, and now he's up to 16.5. So I'm doing pretty well on him, and I think he could keep going further and further, maybe approach that 20+ million coin mark, assuming no major crash happens in the next week or so. Another example is Vieira that I picked up a few days ago for about 10 million coins. He's now up to 10.3, and I could see him going up a little bit further because he's a great player in game, and if ranked up, he could be great for people's squads. Another player I heavily invested in was Eusebio. I bought a bunch around the 20, I think it was 26 or 27 million coin mark. I think he's going to go past 30. I think he's just taking his time. Like I said, the higher the price goes, the less buyers there are out there. And also he's fighting for a position that has tons of great players like Mbappe and R9. So that's sort of the current state of my investments and just the market in general. Things are creeping up. A lot of the players in the 10 to 25, 30 million coin range seem to be at a good steady pace, whereas the players that are approaching the 50, 60 million coin mark are starting to cool off a little bit. But like I said, if we see a large injection of coins, that could change things. People could start increasing even further in price. But on the flip side, if there's a large injection of players, we could also see a crash. We don't know. EA is the only one who knows. We'll just have to see when it comes out. But with that being said, I now want to talk about something very important to understand for the next few days. And as you can see here, I have all of the icons from the Libertadores event here. And the reason why I have that is because if we go over to the live events section, you could see that the Libertadores event is going to end in 3 days. I believe it ends this Thursday. And the reason why I say that is because when these players go out of packs, there's a chance that these players go up in value because nobody could pack them anymore, but a lot of people want them, which is why I've invested in someone like Ramirez. I bought a bunch at about that 5.6 million coin mark. I think he's a great CDM, and out of packs, who knows, maybe he could reach 6.57 or even further. Another great example is Pele. Once they're out of packs, once that star pass is no longer there, he may go up in price because now the supply is restricted to the amount of cards that have already been pulled. And we already know that Cafu, Roberto Carlos, Jairzinho, Carlos Alberto, and Zico are all some of the best players in the position, so when they go out of packs, there's a chance they definitely go up. Now, I'm only invested in Ramirez, but it will be interesting to see how the rest of them react when they're out of packs. Now, another thing to note is the fact that the UCL matches are happening this week. We have a batch of them on Tuesday and a batch of them on Wednesday. And the reason why that's important is because oftentimes these live players who get upgrades like Kyle Walker, when their team does well or when they perform well, will see price increases even before they get an upgrade because people expect them to get the upgrade when it does come out. So let's say Man City, who plays their game tomorrow, wins their game very easily and they're looking like they're in great form, there's a chance that all the Man City players are going to go up in value. Now, of course, it's a big gamble because if they lose the match, this could be a huge hit to a lot of these Man City players, including Haaland. But it's important to note. Now, with Kyle Walker, the other thing that I think he has going for him is the fact that his exchange is no longer available now. So if there were to be a price increase, once again, there is now a somewhat limited amount of supply on the market. It's not that everybody could go and do his exchange. But because so many people were able to do that, there is a ton of supply. So we have to understand that it's not like he's going to skyrocket in value. There's a lot of people that have him, a lot of people that can sell him, which means that his price, if it's going to go up, will be in small increments. Now, I have bought, what was this, 7 copies of him around that 4.9 million. I just think in the long run, he's going to do decently well because he's also one of the best right backs in the game, at least in my opinion. But of course, if new right backs come out over the next month that are considerably better than him, then this investment's not going to work out. But it's important to note that that logic does apply for all the players for these teams that are fairly good in game. Ruben Diaz, who is in decent demand, if Man City does well, there's a chance that his card goes up in value. Same thing with Rudiger, even though a bunch of people have already claimed him for free because of the rank up system and the fact that you need multiple copies of players, his card might go up in value. I mean, he was 9.5 about 4 or 5 days ago, now he's 10.5, so clearly he's inching his way up there already. And of course, the big boys like Haaland and over here Bellingham have that chance as well. So for the upcoming week, make sure you look out for the UCL cards and their price movements, and also the Libertadores cards for when they come out of packs. But with that being said, I want to end off today's video showing you guys some investments I made and how I made some coins in profit. So I talked about earlier Puskás. I sold him for 23.9. He's 21.5. I bought him for 20.9, I believe. So I made a 600,000 coin profit. I did complete the Foden for the Star Pass, so that's an easy 11.5 million. Del Piero I picked up for 8 million coins because I knew that people were going to be completing this Mascherano exchange over here. We go to exchanges. I knew people were going to try to complete this 91 rated Mascherano because it's very useful. You need 2 90+ players. So Del Piero did go up, and I did sell him on a swing, as you saw. He's been swinging back and forth between like 8.5 to 9 or whatever. So 9.3 million is what I got out of him, 370,000 coins profit on each. And you can see here, he is definitely someone I could have held on to and made more coins from, but I'm a big believer in once you get a decent amount of profit, just take it. Don't try to be too greedy. And the final thing is I sold off all of my Pablos, the 80 rated center mid, who was used for the new Gavi exchange here. I told you guys in my previous video when Gavi came out, you needed 80+ rated overall La Liga players, and I bought up, it was 65 copies of them. I thought I bought 50, but it was 65. So I sold off a bunch. I did the math in a spreadsheet, but I made just over 5 million coins. I bought all of these Pablos for 205,000 coins. I sold 5 of them at 280, 10 of them I believe at 308, and then the rest at 323. And once again, to show you guys an example of this, he hit a peak of 383.90, which means I could have made another few million coins from it, but I didn't want to be greedy. He already went from 205 to 323, so I thought I'm going to take my profits and move on. And that's definitely an investment style I'm going to be using going forward. When new exchanges come out, go into it quickly, see what's needed, buy up the cards, and then sell them for a profit. Instead of what I did with the Oyarzabals, which was buying them ahead of time, anticipating that an exchange would come out, which is dangerous because we don't know for sure, only EA knows. Anyways, that's all for today's video. I hope this helped you out. If it did, please drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.